Okay, so I don't know if I've said anything about it or not, but motor out of the gray truck, which is sitting right there, we're gonna put it in the 460 truck, the 84 F-150. But we just pulled this transmission off, and if y'all remember from my previous videos on this truck, the transmission didn't shift quite right. So I got to thinking, and I was thinking maybe it was the transmission that caused this truck to sit, and it very well still could have been. But we just pulled the transmission off, and I'll be damned if that ain't a new torque converter. And I'll be damned if that pump don't look like it's new too. So, I mean, could my line valve be stopped up? Could my governor inside of here that I've read about be messed up? Now, we're having a predicament now. So, not only did I get a built 306, but I also got a brand new torque converter and looks like rebuilt AOD. This is getting stranger by the moment, y'all. Alright, here's a question for my friends, the mechanics at TikTok and Performance Transmissions. Have y'all had any experience with the Ford AOD? This is out of an 86 model. I'm not sure if it's the original one to the truck. That I'm not sure of. But it is an automatic overdrive Ford transmission. That is definitely a new converter. That really appears to be a new pump. Shifting issues. It didn't want to shift on its own, even with me adjusting the throttle valve cable at various positions. Any input would be appreciated. Could it be the governor? I don't know. Thank you. Alright, y'all, since I seem to be full of energy this morning, I need to explain a little bit more on this. This should be added to the video that I made the other day where I pulled the engine out of the gray truck. Yes, this is the 306 that was in the gray truck. It had the AOD transmission on it, yada, yada, yada. So we know the 466. I think I've done made the decision. I'm going to freshen it up, freshen everything up. So in the time being, I'm going to try and get this on the road with this. Which means I got to replace all the gaskets on it. I got to replace or clean the engine and paint it because I'm not putting a nasty ass engine into this truck. The AOD is probably good, but the C6 out of the four-wheel drive is the transmission I chose that I'm going to put in that truck. So as we walk over here, I'll show you that the engine no longer resides in this thing. I need to find my flex plate for the C6 because the AOD flex plate is different. I never intend to strip this truck like this, but the way my luck's going lately, as far as the title issues on that, the engine issues on that one's probably going to come apart next. So we're going to get this engine jacked up. I've got an engine stand lined up that I got to go pick up around lunchtime. Get this engine jacked up, get the oil drained out of it, and let's pull the oil pan, see how bad anything looks in there, if it even looks bad, which I doubt. So I'll come back to y'all in a little bit. Okay, so two things became very evident when I dropped the pan. As you can see, it looks like there's chunks, which is carbon and yada 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 from it blowing a head gasket, and the oil had gas in it, so it diluted it, which caused the bearing to look like that. But these bearings aren't scored like the 460 bearings. This motor's going back together and going in the truck. Has anybody ever noticed that everybody wants to say they, I guess, know what they're doing when it comes to life? None of us know what we're doing. We're all out here winging it. It doesn't matter if it's today, tomorrow, something you've done 1,000 times. You're winging everything. Teaching children, winging it. Letting them run around barefoot, winging it. You know, they've got to learn their lessons, just like us average, everyday folks that don't want to start no trouble did. Like my nephew over there playing with that hammer. He's winging it. He doesn't know how to use a hammer and nail. We got to remember them. We got to honor them. Because nowadays you don't see kids running around like this. 90% of the time, he doesn't have a shirt on. Yeah, we all ran around in the South, barefoot, no shirt. And yeah, boy, girl, it didn't matter up until a certain age. And look at him. I've never showed him how to drive a nail in his life, but he's watched me, my daddy, my brother. He found that bucket of nails, and he wanted to drive a nail. So I'm not going to tell him no. He's got to learn his lessons one way or another, and that's what our parents and grandparents let us do when we were little. They didn't shove a phone or a game system in front of us and say, y'all do this, I'm doing my own thing. Okay. But your grandparents would always be sitting there watching you when they were taking a rest and you were still working. They were reminiscing. They were loving life. That was before the world got crazy. Y'all, we need to go back to the simpler times where a kid can enjoy something as simple as raking a few little pieces of pine straw out of a shed. A kid can enjoy hearing stories and understanding how to help turn wrenches or build things, and because that's dying off very quickly, and everybody is just handing them phones and whatever they raised up in the South or around your grandparents a lot. But when you sit around and you watch a kid and you think back to when you was a kid and how your grandparents used to sit and watch you, and you always look up 90% of the time they'd have a smile on their face, it's because you were living the dream. You were supposed to be playing and enjoying and not all this technological mumbo jumbo. You were exploring, you were learning. There wasn't as much drama in the world. And now you have grandparents out here all the time and most of the time back in the day, they didn't even have air conditioning when you were a kid, if you're in the South. Y'all, it may be rough. A lot of y'all may not know what you're looking at. I'm sure some of my Mopar people do. It's a legendary 8 3/4. $741 housing. Yeah, it's sitting in this bucket and been full of water. It's got, to me, what appears to me like a brand new 323 ring gear. Come on, motherfucker, focus. Anyway, it says 323. It doesn't look like it has any runtime. It's got a white mark there. I don't know. Any of my Mopar people out there know anything about this? It's an open